I never thought a single phone call could unravel the life I had painstakingly built, but that night proved me wrong. It started like any other evening, with the soft hum of my office air conditioner and the familiar scent of espresso drifting from the kitchen. I had just finished reviewing some contracts for my company when my fiancée, Lila, walked in wearing that perfect smile of hers, the one that could light up any room. Except tonight, there was something different in her eyes. Something calculating. "Sit down, Daniel," she said, her tone casual but edged with urgency. I obeyed, feeling an unease I couldn't yet name. "I want to talk about the prenup," she began, her hands folded neatly in front of her, like a lawyer readying her case. "I think it's only fair that, in the event of separation, I receive the house and half of your business." I froze. My mind raced. I had expected discussions, negotiations, compromises, but not this. The house. The business I'd built from scratch with long nights, sweat, and relentless sacrifice? "Half," I echoed, my voice tighter than I intended. "Lila, we've been planning our future together. I thought we were building this life as partners, not opponents." Her smile didn't waver. "I'm not your enemy, Daniel. I just want security. Isn't that reasonable?" It should have been a conversation, a negotiation. But the tone, the way she said it, made it feel like a demand. Not a wish. A warning. My chest tightened, my heart pounding as I realized something I hadn't wanted to admit. I didn't recognize her anymore. "I can't agree to that," I said slowly. "Not half my business. Not the house. That's not fair to me." Her eyes narrowed, and for a brief second, I caught a flicker of something I hadn't seen before. Anger? Disappointment? Maybe both. She looked like a stranger, standing in my living room, holding the life I had built as if it were hers by right. Then came the call. Her daughter's voice was on the line before I could even think to protest. Soft, hesitant, and yet urgent. "Hi, Daniel, it's me," the girl said. "I know I shouldn't be calling you about this, but you need to know something about my mom." I didn't speak at first. The knot in my stomach tightened. I hadn't even met her daughter properly. Our families were only just starting to intertwine. And yet, hearing her voice felt like stepping into a hidden room in a house I thought I owned. "What is it?" I finally asked, my voice barely above a whisper. She's not honest," the girl said, voice trembling. "I overheard her on the phone today. She's planning to use you, Daniel. She wants your company, your house. She doesn't care about you." My heart stopped. I wanted to dismiss it as childish exaggeration, miscommunication, jealousy even. But the certainty in her voice was undeniable. She knew things. She had seen things. And suddenly, the pieces began to fall into place. The subtle manipulations, the questions that felt more like tests than curiosity. The small lies I had shrugged off as misunderstandings. "What do you mean?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. "She called her lawyer earlier today," her daughter continued. "Before you even said no to the prenup. She's been planning this for months, maybe years. She's ready to leave you with nothing if you don't agree." The room felt smaller, the walls closing in. My coffee had gone cold, untouched. I felt betrayed, but the betrayal wasn't just hers. It was mine too. How could I have been so blind? How could I have trusted someone so completely without seeing the cracks beneath the surface? I don't know what to say, I admitted. I thought I knew her. "She's good at hiding it," her daughter said softly. "She's always been that way. I didn't want you to find out like this. I really didn't." The honesty in her voice cut deeper than any confrontation I could have imagined with Lila herself. And in that moment, I realized that the woman I had planned to spend my life with was a stranger. I hung up the phone and stared at Lila, who was now sitting across from me, calm, almost serene. She looked at me, expecting what? Compliance? Rage? Forgiveness? "I know what she told you," she said smoothly. "But don't believe everything you hear. You're letting her words poison your judgment." I stood up, my hands trembling. "No, Lila. I've heard enough. I hear enough every time you open your mouth and treat our life like a negotiation. I trusted you. I loved you. But I won't be manipulated." Her expression flickered, just for a moment. But it was gone too quickly. replaced by that practice mask I had once found so charming. "You're overreacting," she said. "I was only trying to protect myself. You're being selfish." I laughed, bitter hollow. "Selfish? Lila, you're demanding half my life before even walking down the aisle. That's not protection. That's calculation. That's betrayal." She stood too, closing the distance between us, her voice dropping to a near whisper. "You don't understand love, Daniel. You think love is trust and care, but it's also power. You need to learn that." I felt a coldness settle in my chest, a finality I couldn't ignore. All the little signs I had ignored, late-night texts, secretive phone calls, the way she measured every conversation, suddenly screamed at me. I had loved a version of her that never existed. "I can't marry you, Lila," I said firmly, my voice shaking but unwavering. "I loved you, yes, but I don't know who you are anymore. And I can't risk my life, my work, my family on someone I don't know." Her lips parted, as if to argue, to beg, maybe even to manipulate me one last time. But I turned away. I didn't need her words. I didn't need her lies. I packed a few essentials and left the apartment that night, the city lights stretching before me, cold and indifferent. But I didn't feel cold. I felt free. I felt awake. Betrayal had cut deep, yes, but it had also woken me from the illusion I had been living in. The next day, I sold my involvement in the apartment complex we had planned to share, withdrew partial investments I had considered joint, and quietly, methodically began reclaiming my life. It was painful, a constant ache in my chest that refused to fade, but each step reminded me that some truths, no matter how devastating, were necessary. Weeks later, her daughter called again, only to apologize. "I didn't want to hurt you, Daniel. I just couldn't watch it happen." I didn't need her to say anything else. The damage had been done, the veil lifted. I was alone, yes, but no longer blind. Betrayal had left a scar, but it had also taught me something invaluable. Trust, once broken, cannot be reconstructed with words alone. It is earned every day, in honesty, in vulnerability, in deeds. I walked into the morning sunlight that day feeling hollow and hopeful at the same time. Lila's demands, her calculated